Welcome to the 3B Waxing Show. Again, today's not your regular 3B Waxing Show. It hasn't been for the past few days, but tomorrow's Wednesday, and so we'll get back on schedule. I'll be back in front of the 3B Waxing board there. So if y'all remember, I purchased some candles from one of my followers, and she was on the other day talking about it, and I finally burned the toasted pumpkin spice. Oh, this one's really burning. It smells so good. So it definitely, smelled up the whole place. I've been burning this candle and then some incense. But that's not why I came on here to chat. I came on here to chat about what is going on with the dollar sale, and then kind of explain a little bit about it and that kind of thing. So I'm going to, usually when I do the show, I do announcements, and then I do the intro, and then I do the content. But the announcements today is the content, because I want to get into how it's beneficial and that information, and basically the plan for December and what's just happening. So welcome to the 3B Waxing Show. Welcome to the 3B Waxing Show. And so you remember, welcome to the 3B Waxing Show. I am Becca, a pro waxer, skin therapist, and licensed esthetician since 2010. I help people remove unwanted hair, acne, discoloration, ingrowns through full body waxing, chemical peels, facials, and products. My products can be shipped to the US, the UK, Canada, the UAE, and the Netherlands. They're the acne and ingrown pads and the fruit enzyme pads, which are chemical exfoliants, so they are great for sensitive skin. I help estheticians start their own product line. I've helped a lot of estheticians start their product line, start their own salon suite, attract clients, and improve their waxing technique. December is all about attracting clients and tips on how to do that, how to follow up with your clients, build your books, and all that good stuff. Some things that you may care about that that would make you want to listen to what I have to say is that I've been the regional trainer for a large waxing franchise and the lead esthetician at a high-end gym in Newport Beach, California. I go live Wednesday through Friday at 3:26 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I talk about waxing, skincare, and then esthetician education and career information. If you want to know when I go live about skin care information, ingredients, and that kind of stuff, you can join the lab. If you want to know when I go live about waxing, you can join the Wax Lounge. And then if you want to know when I go live about esthetician education, then you can join the Salon Tea. I just emailed the Salon Tea before I came on here, and it was a reminder that I was going live. So like I said, I'm making the announcements the content. So there's two things that are very important that are going on right now in 3B Waxing. Is December is all about teaching my fellow estheticians, cosmetologists, licensed therapists, nail techs, how to attract clients and build their books. For those of you who are new to either starting your own business or working somewhere where you have to build your own books yourself, I've done both of those things. So I'm here to help you with that. So the first thing that's the announcement is the past week, I have been focusing on teaching you guys about the importance of following up. Following up is a great low-cost way. It really is just your time and whatever tool you use to build your books. What I mean by that is you can easily just start texting your clients to follow up, and it's going to cost you nothing but your time. And so during this past week, I've been really teaching on, if you can start following up with your clients, daily, following up with the clients you had the day before and like putting an alarm in your system, you will start noticing your books grow and your sales increase. I have literally done this I still do it when I'm open. And when I first started 3B waxing, I started in Brea. Some of you have, know this. And I would follow up with the small amount of clientele that I had, and it was able to continue to grow. And then it also creates client retention, client loyalty, because they know that you're caring about them. And so one thing that I did was not only following up through text, email. There's so many different ways to follow up, and I've been talking about the different ways to do it, and I'll continue to talk about the different ways if this information is valuable to you guys. But one way that I followed up is thank you cards and thank you notes. And firstly, thank you notes are, I don't want to say it's like a dying thing, but it's not as common as it used to be. And when you get a thank you card, or if you give a thank you card, that person really, feels special, and like it goes noticed, basically, because most of us have bills. I literally have so much junk mail. I can actually show you the junk mail that I have right here. Like, we were going through mail today. Oh, you can't see much because of but literally that is a bunch of junk mail. So because most people get a lot of junk mail, then when they see a thank you card come through, it's like, oh, they care about me, especially when it's a business. And it means even more when it's like you and the client, and you handwrote it, handwritten it, Do you give online classes? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So so clients love when you give thank you cards. I've noticed that that is ways that I've increased my sales, my reviews, my referrals, all that stuff. So what I did for so yesterday the sale started, and tomorrow is the last day. Is I created a video. It's basically a video class. It was a live class I did. And it goes into thank you cards. You said, when is the next one? So it depends on what we're doing. The next live class will be a while, but I do a lot of so I do the show where I teach a lot, and then you can also purchase the replays. Thank you, Domo, sorry. Yeah, well, I'm talking about it I'm starting out, and I've been so slow. I need help getting clients. What do you recommend? I've been talking about it, so this is a good live to be in. So thank you note. So what I did was put the thank you tutorial, like on how to create thank you notes that basically sell other stuff, but without selling. Because my big thing on teaching you guys is to follow up but not sell. Because if you go in to a client like, oh, I'm just following up to sell, it's not going to work. It's not going to work the same. It's not going to be the same. You want to go in and show the client you care and all that stuff. So I put the training for the thank you notes on sale for $1. You can literally get that for $1 until tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day, and I'll be on live tomorrow. But yeah, you definitely need to do thank you notes. For those who just joined, I literally, or you don't know who I am, or you're new to this page, I literally did not have a lot of clientele when I started out, but I treated the clientele that I did have like gold. I treated them so well. And that's what you really need to do. That is it, because your main clientele are going to give you referrals. Your main clientele are going to purchase more services from you if they like the services you have. And just to talk about that a bit, because 2 weeks ago we did a whole series on that, upselling. When you get the dollar, if you go to the page, that's the dollar thank you card tutorial, you have the option to get an upsell product, which is the upsell, how to confidently upsell your services. And in this bundle, it's the video classes that I went over on how to get over the fear, because a lot of you said that you have this fear of the client saying no when you upsell them services. You have this fear that they won't like the service. You have these like little fears that won't let you upsell to the clients you already have. And we went into how to break those fears and get over them. And then I created a workbook. So I don't know who's there and who remembered that, but we went into the workbook of how to get over those fears. And so I created a little bundle, and then when you get the thank you card tutorial, you can add that on. So that is available. The other thing I wanted to talk about with regards to following up with your clients. Again, if you're new to me, I talk about it all the time. Following up with your main clients is going to get you new clients. I promise you that. Another thing to grab before I talk about the last thing is, if you're new, you want to grab the Attract Clients. It's like a small ebook. I don't really call it an ebook all the time because it's small, but it is like an ebook, and it goes into different things you can do to attract clients. I have an esthetician client who used those things to do in there, and she was able to get more clientele, make sales from following up with her client, and then she also was able to book a speaking gig at a women's conference. That is free to grab. Click the link in the bio. I don't know what number button it is, but yeah, that's available. And then the last thing I want to recommend and talk about. So during this month of December, I put the mini course available on sale, because I don't know if you guys know that a lot of times people will say, oh, January is a really slow month for our profession. I think that you can set up your books right now in December so you're not slow in January. And you do that by putting in the work right now. So that's one of the reasons why I put the mini course on sale right now. And I want to talk about the different things that it goes into and why these things are important. So this mini course is 15 days, and every 3 days you get a new module. The first module is about creating digital price sheets. Why are digital price sheets important? Because it's going to lead to your follow-up. It's going to make you money. And this is how. Say you're talking with someone about your services. You're talking with them, you are telling them what you do, they're interested, whatever. They want your business card or to know your pricing or stuff like that. You can be like, you know what, I have a digital price sheet for you that has my prices, where I'm located, how to book, all that information. Give me your phone number and I'll text you it. Then you just text them that sheet. Why is this important? This is important because Now, 3 days later, maybe a week later, you can reach out to them again and say, hey, and we met at wherever you met. I know you were interested in whatever services they were interested in. Do you have any questions for me? And now you're following up with them and you're starting a conversation so they'll book and become a client. And you have their number so you can continue to follow up with them. Now, most people don't do this, but I do want to say this as a disclaimer. Don't just like spam them with following up stuff. But one thing about following up is you always want to make it a question so it's open-ended, and that will give you a way to set up the conversation so that way there's room for you to sell eventually throughout the conversation. So that's the first module you'll get, is how to create profitable price sheets. And I go into a tutorial with that. So when somebody asks me on here, like, do I do classes, online classes, I record a lot of the classes and then package them up so you can do them at your own time and continue to watch them and use them and refer back to them. The second module that is in the mini course is the booking system. How to set up your booking system. So I personally use Acuity booking system. I've used it since I started 3B Waxing. I used it right before because I set it up before. 100% you should have a booking system. It's going to save you time and it's going to save you money. And people are more likely to book with you rather than reach out to you to book you. Also, like we've been talking about 2 weeks ago, upselling is very important. And if you're not comfortable yet upselling with every client you have, then you can put your upsell services in your booking system. So that way, whenever they book a service, there is an option for them to add on other services. And they see that every time they go into your booking system. And because I've gotten this question a lot, there is a difference between a booking system and a website. You definitely want both, but what's more important for getting clients, I found, is the booking system, because at least you're booking people. So that's the second module of me teaching you how to, do the whole process. I go step by step over video and how to actually do each thing. Now, the third module is networking, and actually networking where you get clients into your salon, because there's always that like basic, business advice. Oh, just network, just network. And I always, even when I was in college, they would say so I have my accounting degree. I went to the University of Arizona, Bear Down, for anyone else who went there. And they would be like, oh, you just need to network to people. You just need to network. Hey, Mindy. Welcome to the 3B Wax Show. And I'd be like, literally, I hate small talk. I absolutely hate it. And it makes me come off as quiet when I go into places, or shy. But I'm not here for the, I'll do it, but I don't like it. And so I used to think that was what networking was. And I realized that networking isn't like that. Networking is just getting to know people and finding out what they need, or telling them about yourself and then learning about them. So in the third module, I share my ways of networking. And the things I go into is, when I first started my business, I was working 2 jobs before I started 3B Waxing. And one of the jobs is the one I was leaving to start 3B Waxing. And I remember thinking, I know so many people. I knew specifically a girl that would come to me when I was a trainer at one of the companies, and she would get services, and I was like, she always hypes me up why don't I use her influence? She was a DJ. Shout out to Lady, DJ Lady, to market. So give her services to get her to shout out me. And it's like a common thing, influencer marketing, but I've done so much of it and had a lot of trial and error with it that have my own system of doing it and being successful at it, because I've had moments where it really didn't work, where I worked with celebrities where I didn't get any clientele from them. I've worked with makeup artists that didn't have a lot of following, but I got a lot of clients from. And just the things that I learned with having contracts with them, and then learning from other professionals who did the same thing, who do influencer marketing as well, and learning what worked with them and didn't work, and then me trying it and then finding a way that really works. So that is the third module. Also in the third module is tapping into the other salon professionals' clientele. I say that is the best way to, or those are the clients you really want to tap into and get as your clients. The reason behind that is because you guys are all paying the same rent, pretty much. It's like the same scale. When I moved from the Brea salon suite to, I moved to a Phoenix suite in Santa Ana. Our rent was high because it was on the cusp of Santa Ana and Tustin. We were like really a drive over to Tustin, for those of you who know California. And literally our prices were high, like our rent was high. But everybody in there was paying the same rent, so everyone had to have prices that matched that. And I've always been a luxury brand, like my prices have been high, but my quality is high. And you're paying for my education when you come to me to get waxed. And so that means everyone that you're working with or working around is most likely having their prices up to par. Like there may be a few who don't, but for the most part, everyone is. So you want to tap into their clientele, because that clientele is used to paying premium prices. So you need to market with those people and network with those people. And I show you how to do that in a way where it's not awkward, where you don't feel like you're being fake. And even if you are a quiet person, say you're not actually a quiet person, but you just are like, I just am not here for the small talk. I'm not here for that. It's a good way to bridge that gap and build those relationships with people, so that way you can later on, get really close to them. Because I have been able to gain a lot of clientele from other people in the salon suite. And my first place, I wasn't able to do that, but that's because I was relying on them to give me clientele, because they're like, oh, we're just going to give you clientele, but that didn't happen. And so I really had to learn how to tap into the people I was around to get clientele. And it really is just a strategy, to be honest with you. It's almost like playing a game you know the answers to, but it's true. Like you just are like, okay, I know how to do this. And I remember there was a person that I was around that had been there a while longer than I had. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is such a smart idea that you do this. And I go into the process and stuff in the mini course, but it's just things that you don't think about that work, like the thank you cards. This small little thing that I did to the other salon professionals makes a huge, huge difference. So that's what were we on? The third module. The fourth module in the mini course is following up. Now, in this mini course, there's so much gold in it. But I also give you homework in it, so that way you do it the day that you get it. because, you know, information is useless if you're not using it, right? So, module 4 is following up and how to do it. So I give you the strategy of following up. It's intense, right? I was doing this because I had time. I had time when I opened up. And so, or I made time, right? So, it gives into this whole strategy of how to follow up, and you can adjust to your schedule. But if you stick with that strategy, you will for sure gain sales and get clients booking. What I did, so in the mini course, I give you the full strategy of following up. Then as you grow, when you have less time, you will insert whatever you need in that plan. So example, I say follow up the day after. And when I was following up, when I first started, I would text everyone. Well, as I grew, it was very hard to text everyone. Like, I had an alarm, like, oh, text everyone you saw the day before. So then I would text everyone. And then the next day that I was supposed to follow up, according to the strategy, I'd be like, okay, follow up with these people. So it got a lot, right? So it's a lot when you're seeing 20 to 25 people a week. So then I started supplementing my email list emails, my newsletter emails, as follow-up. So I was already doing weekly emails to my newsletter, and I had like 10 people on it. But I was staying consistent with that, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to count that as a follow-up now because I'm so busy with other stuff and seeing clients and stuff like that. So you do that. Then as you grow, you have to make the decision of, you know, how are you going to follow up in other ways. So thank you cards, for example. When I first started, I would send everyone a thank you card, handwritten, personalized, and I talk about this in the thank you tutorial that's $1 right now. So if you want it, get it for $1. It's first click link in the bio is the first button if you're wondering where to get it. But I would do that. Well, then I started to get so busy and I started getting backed up. And this was before I had an assistant to write the thank you notes. So I moved it to thank you postcards, and I did that. So you will adjust as you grow, but I give you the whole strategy so that way you can start out with it and then, you know, adjust from there. Or if you're already so busy, you can at least take what's given and then pick what will work for your business and your clients. So that's the 4th module, and that one, there is homework, and I really recommend that you do the homework that day with all of them, really. I think the first 2 modules are easy to do the homework because as I'm showing you, oh, click here, drag there, add this, put this there, put this information in the Google Docs, you can do it while I'm doing it. But with the follow-up, you could just watch the videos, right, and, you know, move on. But I highly recommend doing the homework while you're doing the taking the course. And it's in 15 days, so it's a short amount of time to get things done. So like if you want to see results fast, but it also is enough time to get you to do it. So you have 3 days to really get the hang of everything. The last module in the mini course, the 15-day mini course, is the is reaching out to your friends and family. So I am from Arizona. I live in California now, but I didn't really have, like, the friends I had were people I'd worked with, and I don't really get that close with people I work with. Like, I do, but, and there's some exceptions, but it's just not how I have always been. And then I had a few family members out here. And so, one thing that I did was the people who I had worked with that, are my friends, I say that because I came into a state where, backstory, I came into a state where I knew I was just going to work. So it wasn't like I had friends to just like hang out with. It was all about work and like, goals and stuff like that. So, I reached out to everyone in my contact list and some family that I had about what was going on and those kind of things. And I just teach on how to do that. A lot of you that I talk to, and this is all from stuff that you guys tell me, like from talking to estheticians. I talk to so many estheticians, people in the salon industry. They say all the time, oh, my family won't pay for my services. Even somebody got upset at me on here, which I'm like, why are you, just don't follow me. They got upset at me for telling people that friends and family will pay for your services, for your product. I have always been able to have that. Now, not everyone said friends and family don't support only when it's free. That's another person. That's not true. That's so not true. So there are some family and friends that do not support you, right? Or they'll wait till, what I found is those people who don't support you usually wait till other people support you to support you. But there are friends and family who are happy to support you. And I guess every friends and family are different, right? But it is true for people. And my goal is to help you still make offers to those people, even if they, act like they only want something for free. Because when you stand firm that you are going to charge your prices and this is what it is, people come around and they're like, well, this is how it is. Because if I'm going somewhere to get my brows done and I know somebody who does them well and I know them personally, why wouldn't I go to them? And from what I've seen with salon professionals is they already in their mind say, this person is not going to support me, so I'm not even going to try to, offer them anything. I'm not even going to try because they're just going to expect it for free. And some people do expect you to just give your services for free, but you have to, be firm and not be like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to do it. No. So I have a lot of stories where it doesn't, but one thing that will help people is, or I guess like saying, oh no, you're paying for services. I have family that have paid my services, right? So if I ever had an instance where a family member came up to me and was like, oh, I expect it for free. Well, so my mother-in-law, she chooses to, which I appreciate so much, she pays for her services when she comes in to see me. Also my aunt, I have a lot of family members who will get my services. But a good rebuttal is if you've ever had somebody who's really close to you pay for your services, then you can always rebuttal like, oh no, I have everyone pay my services. You can do friends and family discounts, but I'm just not for it. I think it's still my job. You'll pay someone else. And so that is what I talk about and teach in the module 5, because it is very possible to have it. And then the great thing is, like, you do want, hey, Wax Gallery, welcome to the 3B Waxing Show. You do want, or this is also one thing I would say, just because I want to get on the friends topic since you brought that up, and I hear that a lot, is that your clients do wind up becoming your friends. And they're not like buddy buddy, you know, come to your house or know everything about your personal life. But at a certain point, there is that level of professional friendship. And if you were to give your discounts to all your friends, eventually you would be giving discounts to all your clients or a lot of your clients, right? There's some clients you're just like, no, I would never be friends with them. But, you know, so if you have that mentality, like, oh, my services, they have to pay, and they'll come on board. And then a lot of people, and it's the sad truth that I've learned, is that people will come on board with you once other people do. I was hurt by it when I first started because I thought certain people would be more supportive than other people. And I have a lot of friends and family who did support me, but I had some that didn't, and like I was shocked and I was shook. And then I started to gain more followers and more attention. Like, you guys have seen me through this process. Some of you haven't, some of you are new, but I did, you know, BET weekend. I've done LA Fitness weekend. I've done a lot of celebrity pictures and shows and like events and stuff like that. And as that grew, more people I knew started to want to pay attention. Like, apparently when I did BET weekend, we were on TV, and some family members saw it, and then they were like, oh, you know, what is she doing? So I do understand that aspect, but people will come around and then they'll start seeing it. It's just something that, and I've talked to this with my husband many times, is that it's something that kind of stings a little bit, and is like, you know, I wish you would have supported me in the beginning when I first started, than rather when I'm starting to build up and get bigger. I don't know if any of you guys have felt like that, but it is a true feeling. It's a real feeling that happens. And like, one thing that when I get into that mode of like, oh, you know, it just sucks. Like, these people are now, that I know, are only supporting me now because of whoever shouted me out, whatever. One way that I combat that thought is I look at the people who do support me. A lot of times it is strangers, and then there are people that are your friends that do support, whether it be liking your stuff on Instagram or Facebook, or talking about you, sending referrals but never got your services. Yeah, so those are the 5 modules in there, and it's good for those modules. In this mini course is good for you if you're an esthetician student looking to start your own, because I think, like, back when I was a student, some of you know this, some of you don't, I was in esthetician school when I was in high school. They recently just did a piece on me. I just posted it today. It was EVIT, East Valley Institute of Technology. You could go to high school half day and then go to esthetician school the other half, or whatever you want to do. Like, at one point I wanted to be a daycare owner. I did the schooling over summer and I was like, no. But in school, I would take clients, like people from church, friends, family, and stuff like that, to get practice. I think that you can really benefit if you're in school from doing the mini course, because you get a booking system, you already have these things in place. It's also good if you're working somewhere. If you are working at a place and you are thinking about leaving to go on your own, the mini course is really good. When I was thinking about leaving so I was working at 2 places. One place I was planning on staying, and I did. The other place I was planning on leaving, and a big reason why I was planning on leaving at the time, I always knew I wanted to open up my salon, but it kind of rushed it, is because I wasn't getting paid enough. And sometimes I think that life puts you in uncomfortable positions. I don't know if God technically does it, but you'll get in these uncomfortable situations where you're like, I need to, I need to make a move. And I was in that move where I knew I was worth more than I was getting paid to train people. And I couldn't do it. And so, I started, planning my way of getting out. And I had a notebook of all the stuff I wanted to do. And I didn't tell anyone. Anyone I worked with, I did not tell. Like, my family all knew that I wanted to open up my own salon one day, but people at my job had no idea I was planning on going out on my own and quitting. I told them in an email, like when I sent my 2-week notice, and there's actually a whole story on that, and I can go into that at another time. But I didn't tell anyone, and I think the mini course is great to do if you are also, working somewhere and you're like trying to work in silence. You can just take the class, get things together, and start building that up while you're planning on leaving your job. And then the other person I think it's good for is if you already own your own salon and you are struggling in getting more clientele. Like the young lady who was on here earlier, I don't know if you're on or not, but having those things set up really does make a difference. I was working with other girls who were starting their own salon, and I did meet with one of them. She wasn't working there anymore at the time, but I met with her to figure out what I needed and all that kind of stuff. And just to have somebody who's done it before give you like, okay, you need these price sheets, you need digital price sheets, because it's just going to help you so much. You need a booking system because it is what it is. You're going to need it. If you can start out with this stuff, then, it's going to be a lot easier. That's what I will say. It's going to be a lot easier. And I guess there's so much I could go into, but really I just want to, the last thing I'll say before I get off here is that when you are thinking about starting your own salon or, whether you're starting it now or in it right now, it is so important to invest in education. And it can be anything education. Like, one thing I'm thankful for is my parents have always valued education and going to school. And I'm not saying that you have to go to school, but they've always valued, education and learning from people. And if you can continue to learn during this whole time, whether you do the mini course or not, or do some other thing, it does pay off tremendously. And it does make a difference. Like, when I was working at a company, I wasn't on Instagram like I am now. Like, now I know there's other people out there that explain stuff, but the only reason I'm on social media like this is because I make money from it. But if it was up to me, I would have my old phone. I was just telling my friend yesterday, I would have my old phone and I would be, off the grid. Not off the grid, but, But, if you can just like watch YouTube videos, a lot of the videos that don't become digital products go back onto YouTube and learn from them, take the action with them. There was a YouTuber I would watch and I would write her stuff in my notebook and execute it and then create my own way of doing things. Like I told you guys, I would make little goals for myself when I worked at a company and check them off. and like, okay, I need to talk about this with client and all that stuff. And that helped me to have my own business and flourish there. So if you are working somewhere and if they have educational things that you can do them. Obviously, I would love for you to do the mini course if it's a good fit for you, and then execute that stuff. And if you can execute it too while you're working somewhere else, you'll start mastering it. So that way when you're on your own, it's not like a headache to learn. Because one thing about when I opened up the salon, and I knew this intuitively, I think that's how you use that word, is that I knew that once I started the business, I would be only focusing on marketing and the business and like growing that and all that stuff. So I didn't have time to perfect my skill. So if you are wanting to go out on your own, perfect your waxing, your lashing, whatever you're doing, perfect that at your job. Perfect upselling. I was the highest retailer at both my jobs. Well, a lot of my jobs, not just both, because I got really good at retailing. So I knew that if I had my own product, which I was already thinking about having the pads before I actually had them, I knew that I could sell them, because if I can sell somebody else's product, I know I can sell my own. So my thing would be continue your education, master things while you're in school, while you're working for someone else. And then if you are on your own already, continue to invest in yourself. I invested a lot into my education. It's kind of just ingrained in me from my parents, like always spend money on education, because hearing now it's great. Like now you can get courses from someone like me who has a different journey than somebody else. And you can get other perspectives. And then you can also connect with somebody who's like you. When I was first, starting opening up a salon, I didn't know that many Black people who were estheticians. And so from being on social media, I've been able to realize there's more people who are like me, or people who've gone through the same journey and those kind of things. And then I didn't know of that many people who had degrees. Even now, I don't know that many estheticians who have a degree from a school. But now there's people out there that you can connect with and learn from. And so it's not just school that you learn from. It's not just books. There's more out there. So that's what I wanted to say. Best your education. I hope this was helpful. I know this was a long rant, but I know it was helpful because it has so much insight. And I know sharing my story helps those of you who were, because I know this would help me if I was sitting wherever you are, like whether you're in school, an esthetician, just working somewhere, or you have your own business, because it's a good insight to see other people's story, view, walk. And that's one thing that I'm going to start bringing to the forefront when I talk about starting your own salon, is my personal experience. Because even if it'll be great if you had the same, like similar experience, but even if you didn't, you're seeing another side of things, and what I say can help you in your business. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I know it went long, but I wanted to add some value there. So have a good day, and remember to get the dollar sale, the thank you card tutorial. If you're struggling with what to say, I give you the whole template on what to say, and it really is a good setup. And then if you don't want to do it yourself to write the thank you notes, you can always just send it to an assistant to do it for you. I've done that. Like, hey, this is the instructions on how to write the thank you card, here. And then for those of you who have fear of upselling, I was paid by companies to teach their estheticians how to upsell services, so they're making a higher amount on every customer. So you do need to get over that fear. Those little fears, in that worksheet that's in the bundle, I go over how to get over that fear. And once you do that, you're good. And you can always go back because, like, you know, to be honest, I don't have that fear of upselling in the salon. I actually do really well in person. But I do have some fears when I'm texting, and I'll just remember what went over in the worksheet. I use that stuff, you know. But yeah. And then if you can sell in person, I think that's like one of the quote unquote the hardest things that people have or deal with. If you can learn to sell in person, that is where you really really succeed. I can gain clients, and I want you to be able to gain clients when you're going places and talking places. I don't know if somebody's sneezing outside just really loud, but it's kind of annoying me. But like example, when my husband would get jobs, you know, where I would go and meet the women who work there, I can get them as clients, and that is a huge skill. If you can do that, you're just winning. So if you can get confident in all that stuff, you're winning. And then yeah, so join the mini course. It's on sale for the month of December. The price is going to go up. So right now it is like the price has been scaling every day. And then I would get the thank you card tutorial for $1 and then upgrade it to the upsell bundle. And yeah, I will be on live tomorrow doing the regular 3B waxing show Wednesday at 3:26 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll see you there.